The Israelites, they didn't understand. He said, go tell Pharaoh, Exodus chapter 8 verse 1, let my people go that they may worship me in the wilderness. And they thought it was about running away from captivity. And when they came to the wilderness, the Shekinah appeared upon the mountain, and he was dark. And he said, the Israelites should come. And they ran back because they did not understand that the Eden is not about the building. The Eden is about that envelope that comes out from Zion. And they ran back. But the Bible said, and Moses entered into the deep darkness, for there God dwells. Darkness is not of the devil. Darkness is actually the mysteries of God. God hides himself in darkness. What God did to Lucifer was to judge him with darkness. So darkness was actually the judgment of God on Lucifer. That's why he is shielded off from understanding the things of God, because he was the prince of the presence. He walked to and fro in the midst of the coals of fire. He understood the ways of God. So the only way God could judge Lucifer was to judge him with darkness. So if the princes of this world had known, they would not have crucified the Lord of glory, because the one that is called Jehovah Zephaniah, the one that hides himself with darkness. If you see the throne of God, there is a small dot, is a black dot, is a revelation of the mysteries of God. So in Deuteronomy 27:27, he said the secret things, the mystical things, the hidden things, they belong to God, but the ones that are revealed is an inheritance for his children. Eden came out in the wilderness, but Israel ran away. The reason is because their heart was darkened. But the only way we can live in Eden is by the kingdom, by the power, and by the glory. Because Eden can appear, and if you don't know the kingdom, the power, the glory, you can't walk in Eden. That's why many are in church, but church is not in them, because they have been admitted, but they don't know the kingdom, the power, and the glory. So the last three dimensions of spiritual structure is actually the organogram of the workability of the life of the spirit. There is the spirit, there is the context, but there is an operational modality. It's called the kingdom, the power, and the glory. What is the kingdom? The kingdom is the regulatory government of Eden. The kingdom is the policies, the laws, and the wills of that spirit that wants to exist in Eden. You know, David built a house for God in 1 Kings chapter 8 verse 27. Solomon, and when he was blessing it, he now said, of the truth, will God actually live in heaven? He said, God is not in heaven. Will God live on earth? He said, how can the earth accommodate him? How can it accommodate him? How? So it's a privilege to be in church. It's a privilege to be part of the ecclesia. It's a privilege to be invited into the fellowship. John came and said, that which was from the beginning, which we have heard, which we have looked upon, and our hands have handled of the word of life. He said, that's what we commit to you. It's called koinonia. He said, our fellowship is with the Father. Is with the Father. It's a summon into fellowship. Eden, ecclesia, the church, is actually that womb of intercourse between deity and humanity. And when you come into that fellowship, then you collide with the kingdom. That's why I said, except a man be born again, he can't see the government. Being born again is an invitation into the fellowship of the divine. But to live in that fellowship, there is a kingdom, it's a government. The moment he created the man in Genesis 1:26, let us make man in our own image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion. The man thinks dominion is the ability to rule the earth. He doesn't know that to exercise authority, you must be under authority. So what he was saying is, let the man come under government, that he may wield government. That is kingdom. That's why he said in Hebrews 12:28, having received a kingdom that cannot be moved. let us receive grace. Let us receive the ability to serve God acceptably and with reverence. For our God is a consuming fire. It's possible to work miracles. And when you show up, he says, away from me, you workers of iniquity. Because you can be invited, but only by government can you be approved. Only by the laws, the dominion, can you be approved. You know, that scripture balances the extremes of grace. Grace doesn't excuse, grace empowers. Grace actually empower you to live what they were trying to obey as rules and regulations as a culture. Because what the grace does for you is that it makes you a citizen of heaven. Because the laws of God derive from the nature of God. In the Old Testament, they kept the law to be approved. In the New Testament, grace approves us before we are sent. So why being approved? Grace goes further to empower us to begin to live it as a life. Because God does not lie. Man won't lie. Because it has become his nature. Because God does not fight. God does not fornicate. Man won't fornicate. Everything that is not consistent with the nature of God, grace now gives you the ability to express it. It's called kingdom. It's called kingdom. And if you don't know kingdom, you are not a citizen of Zion.